SpaceX ran the biggest IPO in history, just over $85 billion. And within 2 weeks of trading, its stock wobble had already talked a different company, worth $852 billion, out of going public this year. That company is OpenAI. You know, people are talking about Anthropic a lot right now. What might surprise you, it could actually go public more than a year before OpenAI does. Today, who's next? What changed? And how to watch the next one without ending up the one holding the bag. One quick correction before we get into it. In the previous episodes, I said August 20th was the date to watch on SpaceX. It's actually August 21st, one day off. And honestly, that date isn't the big one. That's just the 7% insider slice that fires no matter what. The real number to watch is 2 days trading after SpaceX's first earnings report. And that one can unlock up to 30% of eligible shares. I'll flag it again the moment that date firms up. Right now, it's just 2 days after their first earnings, which we don't know that date. Okay, on to the bigger story. Quick recap, because this sets everything else up. SpaceX priced at $135 a share on June 11th, raised $75 billion, and investors wanted more. The deal was oversubscribed by about 4 times. Underwriters exercised the full allotment, and the total proceeds hit $85.7 billion. Biggest IPO ever by a mile. It opened at 150, closed the first day at 160.95, and within 2 weeks ran as high as 225.64. Then it gave up almost all that back. By June 25th, it had fallen to around 153 from about 202 just the week before. That drop is not just a footnote for our channel. It became a direct input into somebody else's decision. And it's kept falling since. As of this recording, SpaceX has given up every dollar of its post-IPO gains, and it's sitting right back at its 135 IPO price. OpenAI has quietly been getting ready to go public. They restructured into a public benefit corporation back in October, hired bankers, and even confidentially filed paperwork within the SEC in May. The plan was a listing in the 3rd or 4th quarter of this year. But Sam Altman wants the company valued at $1 trillion when it goes public, up from its last private mark of $852 billion. According to the New York Times, his advisors gave him 2 options. Wait until 2027 for that trillion number, or go sooner at a lower price. Altman reportedly called anything under $1 trillion a non-starter. So the price target didn't move. The date did. And SpaceX IPO wobble has been named as one of the reasons advisors got nervous about demand for another giant listing right now. For context on business itself, OpenAI did about $13 billion in revenue last year and wants to triple that this year. But it's still posting large losses. And ChatGPT's user count has stalled around 900 million, short of its billion they were targeting. Here's the twist most coverage is missing. Yes, everyone's talking about Anthropic now. Claude, the safety-focused AI lab, the $65 billion funding round it just closed at $965 billion valuation. It's actually higher than OpenAI's last mark. And Anthropic filed its confidential IPO paperwork with the SEC on June 1st, a few days before OpenAI's own filing. They've already picked their underwriters, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan. Reports suggest Anthropic could list on the Nasdaq as early as October of this year, more than a year before OpenAI's now expected 2027 window. Nothing here is locked in. No price, no share count, no confirmed date. But if that timeline holds, the safety lab beats ChatGPT company to the public markets. that would surprise a lot of people. We've seen this movie before. 26 years ago, a wave of .com IPOs hit the market on pure hype. Some of them are a punchline today. The Globe.com popped 600% on day one in 1988 and was worth less than a dime within 3 years. Pets.com, remember them, raised $80 million and was bankrupt in 9 months. But some companies from that exact same crash are giants today. Nvidia IPO'd in 1999, got crushed along with everybody else, and became the company that built the entire AI boom. And then there's Amazon. It fell 94% in the crash. People called it Amazon.org because they didn't think it would ever turn a profit. It took a full decade until 2009 just to claw back to its 1999 high. Nobody knew in 2001 that it wasn't going to end up like Pets.com. Here's the takeaway. A mega IPO crashing after the hype doesn't tell you whether you're looking at Pets.com or an Amazon. The business does. And even Amazon made you wait a full decade before it paid off. So if OpenAI or Anthropic actually goes public next, here's exactly what to watch. The same playbook we've been running on SpaceX since the previous episodes. The float. How much of the company is actually tradable on day one? The smaller the float, the wilder the swings. And that's exactly what drove SpaceX from 150 to 225, back to 153, and now even lower. Number 2, the lockup schedule. When do insiders actually get to sell, and how much at each step? Number 3, index inclusion. Does it get fast-tracked into the Nasdaq 100 like SpaceX did? That's forced price-insensitive buying with an expiration date. Number 4, the first earnings report. That's when the story stops being narrative and starts being numbers. Watch those 4 things and you won't be the guy holding the bag at 225 when it's really worth 135. So here's where this stands. SpaceX already went through it. OpenAI just pushed back its date because of what SpaceX stocks just did. And Anthropic, quietly with less noise, might actually beat them both at this game. None of these dates are firm and locked up, but I'll track them as they go along. Comment OpenAI if you want me to give a deep dive into that one first. Or Anthropic if you want to hear more about Anthropic. As always, good luck. Take care. Bye-bye.